Hey guys, today we're taking a look at this awesome kit. This is another premium Bandai kit. This is the Master Grade Astraea F-Type. I love the Astraea kind of version of the Exia. I like the Astraea much more than the Exia, actually, personally. I kind of prefer the white one, and I'm sure we're going to get that eventually, but here we have the F-Type, which is obviously the red one, as you can tell here by the red color scheme for the box art, with this being a P-Bandai kit. It's just got that monochrome box, but let's go ahead and check it out for today's review. Alright, so it may be a P-Bandai box where it's all in red scale, so you can't really see it all that clearly. But one thing you can see is all the weapons that it has. So of course the F-Type has just all those weapons, as I guess which is part of the name for this particular kit, is the full weapon set version. So it's just got a ton of stuff in here. Nothing for which we can really see too much more of on the outside of the box, as it's all just the labels and everything. So we'll have to open it up on the inside. And in here, it'll be interesting to see just how much of this kit is reused from the Master Grade Exia and how much is new, or if there's any parts of this that are coming from any other kits. I'm not sure, but we'll take a look at all the runners and sort that all out in just a moment. First, let's take a look at some of our contents here. Some really nice stuff there. We'll come right back to that. On the front of the manual here is the full color version of that box art, so that you can see it much more clearly there. All the weapons everywhere around on this guy. I think that's one reason why I like the white version better. I think the mobile suit just looks nice in white, and this is a bit too overloaded for my taste, but of course you don't have to put everything all on there at once. The color guide is down here at the bottom. Around here on the back side is the decal guides. There's where the decals are going to go, and then you have some just nice kind of line art of everything so you can see all the weapons. This is all stuff from the original Master Grade Exia, and this is all like the new weapons and everything that we have down here. It would appear to me, someone who's not a real 00 Gundam aficionado, but that's what it looks like to me. Here's the parts list, and we have a lot of X's on here. There's going to be a ton of leftover parts. So you get a ton of stuff with this kit, and then you still have a ton of stuff left over, interestingly enough. But there's all the different sections of the build, and that's what's going to be built all through the most of the manual here. The center pages, if this was a normal regular release Master Grade, the center pages here we might have some more photographs, but we don't. So we can just skip to the back where it just finishes up like how to use and how to equip the weapons and everything, and that's it. So we don't have any other photographs other than this, and then we just have some artwork here on the back, and that's all you have as far as like reference material for the kit. Let's take a look at these stickers. So there's your foil stickers, which are pretty standard for like a Master Grade 00 kit. A lot of these are just going inside the GN condensers. You have the GN ribbon parts, which are going to be right there, and then most importantly, all these beautiful water slide decals. So I'm sure a lot of these go around on like the weapons and everything, but a fair of them are going to go on the mobile suit as well. All in white except for the little F logo right there, which is in like a yellow, but otherwise just going to be a bunch of white markings and everything around the kit. Those look awesome. So we do also have this nice black wire, which is 24 centimeters in length for the kind of beam hammer. And some polycaps here in gray, PC 130 for your polycaps. Runner SB8 in clear pink for our beam saber effect parts. Runner A, which is from the original Exia, is in 3 colors here. You got that clear dark green, a darker red, and a lighter red color for your main armor colors. Runners B and C, some more of that main red color here. These are going to be all from the original Exia kit, until I say otherwise, but here's runners B and C. Runner D in that darker red color there. Runner E is some frame and weapons parts in a nice light brown color. And then runner F and G is more of the Exia frame there in light brown, except these runners are in ABS plastic. Runners G1 and G2 are from the 2019 MG Dynamis release. These are in a medium gray color. Then getting back to the ABS frame parts, here's runner H for some more of those. Runner H1 and H2 also from the Master Grade Dynamis. These are in a darker gray color though. Runners I and J are back to original Exia parts. We've got clear parts here on runner I. Runner J is molded silver parts for some blades and some bits of the GN drive. J3, however, is in a darker gray from the Master Grade Curios from 2020, as well as runner K2 in a medium gray also from the Curios for that missile launcher parts. And then finally with runner T here, we're getting into some new parts. We've got some white, some clear black, some dark gray, and some dark red here, and this runner is simply marked Gundam Astraea. So again, I'm sure we're going to get the white version eventually. Runners U1 and U2 are some more new parts in the lighter red color for the Astraea armor. Runners V1 and V2 are some new frame parts for this particular kit. Runner W1 is in a medium gray for a bunch of the weapons. W2 is in a molded silver. That comes from that section right there for new weapons parts. Runner X1 is some more new weapons parts here in that dark gray plastic. Runner X2, a couple little bits there in yellow. And finally, runner Y1 and Y2 are going to be some new parts here in clear green, and that's all. Alright guys, so here's the kit all built out. Of course, it looks fantastic. I really love the design of this Gundam, and of course, the main thing that you're going to have with this is just a load of accessories, so we'll get into that here in just a second, but just taking a look around the kit. As I said, it looks really good. You can see a lot of the original Astraea parts there, but it is quite a lot of new parts here for this kit, and even including some new parts for like the GN cables up towards the back side of it. And you've also got a lot of leftover parts as well, so if you wanted to customize this by adding some of those Astraea parts back in, or just changing it in some way, you have a lot of leftover parts that you can use either for this or for a different kit if you want to do some customizing, some different like kit bashing sort of stuff. But let's go ahead and get into the mountain of accessories that we've got here for this. Starting off with some of the option parts that you can use for switching this between either the Type F or the Type F2. Up here, the difference in the head is basically just going to be the V-fin. For the Type F2, it has these yellow accent parts there on the V-fin as well, which are separate parts, not stickers or anything, so that's very cool. And there is also the option to make either the regular Type F head or the F2 head, either with the mask or without the mask. I opted for with the mask on. I basically just wanted to make it as it appears on the box art, but you can still see like the eyes and that little bit of like white in there behind that dark clear part, but you can have a few different options there for that. Down here at the front skirt armor, this is the Type F, but if you want to make it as the F2, you have a different piece there for the center, and also for the skirting armor pieces themselves. I again here just went for the Type F, but there's the F2 option. And then for the GN condensers here on the side of the arm and the side of the leg, again, these are options for the regular F type, but if you want to do the F2 type, you have the clear and clear green parts that cover those instead. Basically the same as what you would have on the Gundam Astraea. Now let's talk weapon accessories. So starting off here, we have the GN beam rifle. This is going to be just kind of your standard beam rifle. You have a clear green part there for the camera. This plugs into the hand, this plugs into the forearm right there. Then we've got the big boy, the Proto GN launcher, probably my favorite weapon here. The main handle can move side to side there like that. This is actually going to attach up onto the shoulder. This part here is going to very slightly extend down there like that. And up here on the shoulder, you're just going to remove this part right here, and that's where that's going to slot into place. And this section also extends in and out and up and down like that. So once you have this plugged onto the body, you can kind of change the angle of that. So it's going to look like that on there, and it actually just stays in there like that. You don't even have to have anything holding it up, so it holds up the weight quite well. Even though it's quite large, it's pretty light. You have a clear green part right there, but otherwise it's just going to be a couple of parts really, so it doesn't weigh a whole lot. Up next, another large weapon here, we have the NGN bazooka. This has a removable clip here at the back, or magazine. You guys are going to tell me which is the right word for that, but and then this also extends here. You have the main handle, which doesn't move, but then these secondary handles, which will fold out here on the side, and another one here on the other side as well. So if you wanted to have this either with the left or the right side, you can do that. Then we've got our first of many swords here. This is the Proto GN sword. This just attaches around the side of the arm, folds out like that. Very similar to like what the Astraea has, except it doesn't have the shield attached onto it. And that said, we do also have that version though here. So here's just the regular GN shield, which and the blade part is going to work basically exactly the same there. Although as you can see, it's much larger than the Proto sword, is about like half the size. So that's much larger, but can be folded back and used as a gun here like this. You have the shield on the side and everything, so that's very cool. Switching it up then to something a little bit smaller, we have the GN hammer, which just looks like so. This part is held in the hand, and then this part is what's going to extend out. And our wire here for this is going to plug into there, and then at the other end it's going to plug into here. The clear green parts on there look quite cool. As for how well this wire holds up the weight of it, it's alright. Here at like full extension, if you just like have it straight out, it's not really going to hold it up well enough, but I feel like if you have it like posed in like a certain way, it's gonna hold the pose pretty well enough. It's a pretty substantial wire there, it's not too bad. Then we've got our GN beam pistols with, again, a little clear piece in there for the camera at the front. So these are really nice, and we do have the holsters for these. The pistol just plugs into there. Now these can only be attached on if you're making this as the Type F. The Type F2 you cannot, because these attach on here on the side of the leg. So if you have the clear parts on there, Obviously you can't attach them plugs onto there like so for storage, and you have of course one for the left side, one for the right side. Then we've got the GN missile here, and these don't the missile doors don't open up or anything. It's just something you just hold in the hand and it just works like that. But that said, if you didn't want to have this handheld, you can plug this onto the mobile suit, but again, only if you have it as the Type F, because the Type F2 doesn't have the ports on the side. So you have different parts here. A smaller one to plug this onto the side of the arm, like that, or a larger one which will give you a hard point here on the side of the leg. Now plug onto there, and so you can plug it onto the side of the leg or onto the side of the arm, whichever you might prefer. And then we've got two versions of the GN Shield. We've got the GN Shield and then the Gundam Exia version here. Both of them have the same function where they just plug onto the arm like so, and then these side parts can extend out slightly like that. On the regular GN Shield here, it's a little bit more tight on these, but that extends out like so. Then we've got the GN long blade and the GN short blades. Again, these are also from the Exia. These measuring at 13.5 and 10 centimeters in length respectively. Then we've got a couple of connection pieces here. These are going to be for the sides of the hip. This part right here should pop out, and you have to be kind of careful with it, but this little ball joint then like folds up, and you can attach this attachment piece onto the top of there like that, and then you're meant to be able to store the Gundam hammer onto here like this. That's stored onto there like that, and even though it doesn't look like anywhere that I can see, it's not mentioned in the manual, it looks like you could probably store the GN beam rifle onto there as well, just because it has the same hard point on there like that, I guess. The last couple things then, of course, here at the back we have these handles for the beam sabers. So you've got your beam saber effect parts, your long versions, and then you also have two short ones as well, and two extra beam saber handles. So you can just have your short ones attached onto the beam saber handles here, or however you might like to do that. And finally, last but not least, of course, we also have the action base adapter here, and that's it. So let's go ahead and take a look at some posing. Now, but real quick before we do that, actually there is something that I did want to mention about the foot. So just because this is based on the Exia, it does still have the same issue that the Exia does, that this part of the foot is just doesn't really work well. It keeps wanting to pop up like that, so that's going to be your issue with trying to have this, just staying flat-footed on the ground. This part just pops up really easily, and just kind of a weird design the way that that works, unfortunately. That said, for having this just in aerial poses, if you have this up on an action base, you're not really going to have that as being much of an issue, but it's just something to look out for, that foot detail. But otherwise, in every other aspect of the articulation is still a very solid kit in my opinion. And as you guys will see here from a few different poses that I'm going to show you here for the end of the review, there's a lot of different options that you have. Obviously, with all of the different weapons that you have included with this, there's a million different ways that you could go about posing it. And the nice thing is that if you do have the Gundam Exia, or if you have the Exia Dark Matter, or any other version of the Master Grade Exia, basically you can use a lot of these weapons. Are going to be compatible with your different versions. So obviously you have way more weapons included with this than you could possibly use on the kit at any one time. The nice thing is that a lot of those weapons can be used on either other different versions of the Exia or other different Master Grade 00 kits like the Virtue, the Curios, or something like that. So you have a lot of weapon options that you can then give to other kits if you wanted to. So, but overall, it's a super cool kit. I'm a big fan of the Astraea design. Personally, I like it more than the Exia itself. I'm still hoping that we will get just the regular, the white version of the Astraea. I'm sure we will at some point. It's just a matter of time. And I can assume it's also going to be P-Bandai. And I'm actually surprised they didn't come out with that one first. But I guess for the real grade, I think for the real grade as well, they also came out with the Type F first as well, if that's correct. I'm not sure. You guys can let me know if I'm correct on that, but it's a really cool design and the kit looks great. All the new parts, everything are really nice and really sharp, crisp detail on those. The weapon options are very plentiful and they're all really nice as well. They work really nicely with the hands. You don't have any difficulty, holding any of the weapons. There's not any weight issues. There's some big weapons there, but you're not going to have any weight issues holding any of those up by any means. Aside from the details and everything, I do really like the colors for this one. If you guys wanted to get this kit and you didn't plan on fully painting it, but you just wanted to add some panel lining on it, I would recommend you guys to use a brown panel liner rather than black on it. I think, just in my personal opinion, I think that that would look better. I think it would be more fitting. Normally for like reds and obviously browns, greens, colors like that, using brown for the panel liner is going to look nicer than using black. It just looks kind of more natural. But aside from that, of course, you also have the included waterside decals. So if you were to just do some brown panel lining, throw on the water slide decals, and then also give it a coat of top coat. You know, be careful not to spray top coat onto the clear parts or like the clear like GN ribbon parts. So take those parts out before you spray your top coat and do all that, and it's going to be a really good looking kit. Even not fully painted at all, just, you know, detailed up a little bit and then top coated. It's going to be a really nice kit. So that's going to do it for this review, guys. Pretty straightforward kit. It's nice. It comes with a ton of accessories, and if that's what you're looking for, and if you're a fan of the design, then I think you'll enjoy the kit. If you're looking for any other Bandai mecha models, Gundam or otherwise, all sorts of different mecha models, tools, paints, and supplies, anything like that you guys may be looking for, check out the link in the video description to USA Gundam Store. I've got all kinds of stuff there for you guys to check out. And if you'd also like to like and or subscribe while you're here, that'd be greatly appreciated. Until next time, guys, hope y'all have a great day. I'll see y'all later. Bye!